fucking dirty in this fight. A lot of eye pokes, a groin shot as well. I think Paddy Pimblett had a groin shot that he landed too, but that was towards the end of the fight where it was just an absolute mess of a scrap between
The absolute schooling is over, and the fight world is still picking up the pieces after Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje.
The octagon door didn't just close. It sealed the fate of a narrative that had been building for years. When Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje finally stepped into that cage, we weren't just looking at a clash of rankings. We were looking at a collision between the curated world of social media stardom and the raw, unadulterated violence of the lightweight division's most terrifying gatekeeper. The fallout from this fight hasn't just left the rankings in a state of flux. It has fundamentally changed how we view the it factor in combat sports.
You're 100% right. And you're 100% right, and it should be. You know, it should be. It should be. If you want to talk about, you know, being fair competitively, you know, especially in the performance that he puts, like, why wouldn't you? Right. You know, in the perfect picture, you would want Justin to fight Ilya.
At the White House as an American. Will that happen now? Fuck.
The chaos of the scrappy interim war, this wasn't a clean, technical sparring match. It was a dogfight in every sense of the word. From the opening bell, it was clear that Gaethje was willing to go to the darkest places to keep his veteran status intact. We saw eye pokes that disrupted the rhythm and a groin shot that momentarily sucked the air out of the arena. It was dirty in the way that only a desperate, high-stakes war can be. By the time they reached the championship rounds, the fight had devolved into a beautiful, violent mess. Paddy Pimblett, the man who had promised to knock the...
He said, "Welcome to the big leagues, Paddy Pimblett, one up for the legends." Right. What do you think about, just like, you carry, how much pride do you...
We're up 3. He beat BSD, I beat Fazeev, and I just beat Paddy. We're up 3 right now. Taporia took out Max, so we might be, 3-1, but I'm going to try to avenge that one.
This _out found himself in a reality he hadn't fully prepared for. His chin, which many questioned during his rise through the ranks, proved to be made of granite. He ate shots that would have finished most top 10 contenders, standing his ground even when his legs seemed to be betraying him. But durability is a double-edged sword. It allows you to stay in the fight, but it also allows you to take damage that changes the course of a career. The burden of being the favorite. There is a unique psychological weight that comes with being the betting favorite. For his entire UFC run, Paddy has thrived as the underdog, the loudmouthed kid from Liverpool whom everyone expected to fail. But tonight, the world expected him to win. That shift in dynamics seemed to influence his game plan in the worst way possible. Instead of using his elite grappling or looking for the submission transitions that made him famous, he chose to stand in the pocket with one of the most dangerous power punchers in the history of the...
I believe with performance like this man has delivered each and every time, I believe Justin and Ilya potentially becomes the headline for that card.
You're 100% right. And you're 100% right, and it should be. You know, it should be. It should be. If you want to talk about, being fair.
That he sustained significant injuries and would require time.
The sport. Dana White's post-fight assessment was blunt. The game plan was flawed. When you're eating the kind of power that Justin Gaethje generates, toughness isn't a strategy, it's a liability. By the third round, the path to victory was clear. Shoot for the takedown, change the level, and take the fight into the realm where Pimblett has the advantage. Yet, the baddest stayed in the fire, perhaps blinded by his own confidence or the roar of a crowd that had come to see a knockout. The reality of fake confidence. The most jarring part of the aftermath wasn't the physical damage, but the psychological exposure. Before the fight, the rhetoric was all about how one fighter would leave looking the same while the other would be unrecognizable. Those words now hang in the air like a cautionary tale. In the elite levels of the UFC, fake confidence is a death sentence. True champions don't just believe they are going to win. They prepare for the absolute certainty of disaster. They embrace the fact that they might get dropped, they might get cut, and they might have to fight through a fog of pain. The victor in this bout didn't just win. He gave a masterclass on the difference between being famous for fighting and being a fighter. While one man was building a brand, the other was building a tolerance for the unthinkable. A quick
style of fighting, and add those two to the White House. How big do you think that fight could be between you two?
I mean, if I had any bit of a personality, it'd be fucking huge. But I just can't. I can't lie. Can't exaggerate. It's what I do. It's who I am. It's who my parents taught me to be. But I mean, there's no doubt it would be the best. One of the best fights that they could definitely put on. it'll be for an undisputed belt, and I think they want to have 6 or 7, whatever. They want to have as many as possible. So if he's not back by then, they will strip him, and I will be undisputed.
Side note asterisk, if you're finding this deep dive into the mental and physical toll of the octagon insightful, you're exactly where you need to be. We break down the science of the scrap and the psychology of the win every single week. Make sure to subscribe to the channel right now so you never miss a breakdown of how these warriors truly prepare for the worst-case scenario. The expert perspective. Predictions meet reality. Before the first punch was thrown, the combat sports world was a house divided. Looking back at the predictions from those who have actually tasted the canvas, we see where the fans got it wrong. Asterisk Eddie Alvarez asterisk the Underground King warned us about the suffocating pressure of Gaethje. He noted that sparring partners cannot replicate the feeling of someone taking your breath away with body shots while moving forward with zero regard for their own safety. Asterisk Michael Chandler asterisk Iron Mike, a man who knows a thing or two about violence, leaned toward Gaethje based on seasoned experience. He correctly predicted that the 25-minute dogfight environment would favor the man who had been there before. Asterisk Tony Ferguson asterisk always the wild card. Ferguson saw the hunger in Pimblett as a deciding factor. He believed that the desperation for a first major title can sometimes override technical gaps. Asterisk Colby Covington asterisk, despite his persona, Chaos, offered a grounded take. He saw Gaethje as a proven warrior who would break Pimblett mentally before breaking him physically. Asterisk Sean O'Malley asterisk Sugar Sean was one of the few who stood firmly with Pimblett, betting on a second-round rear-naked choke. He saw a technical opening that, ultimately, never materialized because the chaos of the stand-up never allowed for a clean transition. Hashtag the hospital report and the price of war. The physical toll of this interim title fight was immediate. Dana White confirmed that while Gaethje claimed to be 100% and ready for the next one, Pimblett was sent straight to the hospital. This is the part of the sport the cameras usually miss. The quiet, sterile rooms where the adrenaline wears off and the reality of 25 minutes of trauma sets in Gaethje's ability to walk away from a war of this magnitude and say, "I'm good," is terrifying. It speaks to a level of conditioning and a warrior spirit that isn't just a marketing slogan, it's a physiological reality. For Pimblett, the hospital visit isn't just about healing bones. It's about processing the fact that for the first time, the Scouse magic didn't work. Hashtag social media metrics versus octagon geometry. We are living in an era where follower counts often dictate fight bookings. Pimblett's massive Instagram and TikTok following created a shield of perceived invincibility. His fans, an army of loyal supporters, genuinely believed that charisma could compensate for a lack of top-tier experience. This fight served as a brutal, blood-stained reminder that the octagon doesn't care about your engagement rates or your viral dance clips. When the cage door is locked, the only metric that matters is your ability to manage distance, check leg kicks, and maintain your composure when your vision starts to blur. The UFC's matchmaking strategy of fast-tracking personalities has been a lucrative business model, but this result might force a pivot. You can't manufacture the grit that comes from fighting through the regional circuits against killers who have nothing to lose. Hashtag the financial massacre of the betting public. The sportsbooks are the biggest winners of the night. Millions of dollars were lost by casual fans who bet with their hearts rather than their heads. The hype train is a powerful drug, and many people bought into the narrative that the young, hungry lion would simply overrun the aging veteran. Professional gamblers, the ones who study the tape of Gaethje's leg check mechanics and Pimblett's tendency to leave his chin in the air during combinations, made a killing. This fight was a textbook example of why marketability is often the enemy of probability. If you were paying attention to the fundamentals, the signs were there. Revisionist history and media coverage. The most frustrating part of the post-fight discourse has been the sudden change in tune from MMA analysts. Before the fight, many were calling Paddy the future of the division and praising his unorthodox grappling. Now, those same voices are claiming they always knew he was overrated. This revisionist history is a disservice to both fighters. Pimblett isn't overrated. He is an elite athlete who got beat by a generational talent who fought a near-perfect, albeit dirty, fight. To dismiss Paddy's skill now is to ignore the durability and heart he showed in that cage. Conversely, to act like Gaethje's dominance was a fluke or purely due to fouls is to ignore the tactical brilliance he displayed in the pocket. Hashtag the psychological aftermath. Can a brand survive? For a fighter like Paddy Pimblett, the brand is built on a specific kind of untouchable energy. He's the fun-loving guy who eats pizza after a win and tells everyone he's the best in the world. When that image is shattered by a one-sided beatdown, The road back is incredibly difficult.